When I hear the word hood, I think of a person, a place, and perhaps even a thing. Welcome to Muhlenberg County Ghost Stories from the Hood, narrated by the one and only Sir Creepsta. Tonight's tale of terror is entitled Creature in the Woods. As I have mentioned on more than one occasion, growing up in the city was a blast for the most part. What made this statement to be even more true was because everything that we did for fun and games was done outdoors. There were no PlayStations, Xboxes, or anything utterly resembling those indoor games. We found our fun and excitement in basic games, such as basketball in the park, or wiffle or softball in the Ebenezer Baptist churchyard. These just to name a few. But there were also games that we would play that we as kids made up ourselves. One game in particular was a game we called Captain Flag. This was a team game that required you to be able to withstand a certain amount of physical endurance as well as a certain level of mental toughness. For the most part, those of us who chose to participate in this game were pretty rough and tough kids, and we all simply enjoyed the game because it allowed us to venture out all over the town. And to simply put it, it was just a fun game to play. The object of Captain Flag was to assemble together two teams of about 10 of us kids on each team. We would flip a coin to see which team would have the makeshift flag. Then it would be up to the team with the flag to designate one of its members to be in possession of the flag. The opposing team would then turn their backs and count to 100, while the team with the flag would take out running and hiding all over town. Once reaching the 100 count, the opposing team would then strike out in search of the individual possessing the flag. If any members of the opposing team were found, they would be struck repeatedly in the legs, chest, and arm areas until they either told us who had the flag or simply gave up and quit. Yes, I know this game seems very harsh and brutal, but there was never anyone injured, and we loved the game and we played it often. More often than not, the individual with the flag would be found fairly quickly, and then we would just sit back and turn around and allow the team who found the flag to have their turn running and hiding until the flag was located once again. The only time a winner was ever declared was when the team in search of the flag couldn't find the individual with it, and they simply gave up and quit trying. At this point, they would just start shouting out after we had all assembled back at the starting point that they give up and just simply quit. On one particular summer night back in 1979, we found ourselves once again playing this fun but barbaric game of Captain Flag. All was going well, and by around 9 p.m., almost all the members from both of our teams had gathered back at the Gish Park. The opposing team in search of the flag was on the verge of calling it quits, seeing that after torturing all of my members, including myself, they were still unable to get any information on who had the flag. And by now, seeing that there was only one remaining member of the team who had yet to be accounted for, it was pretty obvious who had it. It was a dear friend of mine who went by the name of Tybo. After waiting around for about 10 minutes or so, the opposing team finally declared us the winners. And then after waiting around for another additional 5 minutes or so, we all started to get a little worried, not knowing why Tybo still hadn't made it back to the park. So we all just started yelling for him to come out because the game was over. And we yelled for several minutes. As we were about to all head out home, out of nowhere, Tybo emerged from the creek located between the park and the woods. We all instantly noticed the pale, frightened look on Ty's face as he approached us. But before we could say anything to him, he darted by us and ran to his house, which was nearby. It wouldn't be until the following morning at school that we would find out what had scared him so bad. And what he told us, we then understood why. According to Ty, he had been made his way to the woods, located by the park, and was sitting there listening to every word that they were saying. And as he was about to reveal himself, he heard the limbs crackling behind him. as something was coming his way. He said that it was a smell that got his attention at first. It smelled like a dead carcass. As the figure made its way closer to him, he said the smell got even worse, to the point where he was almost about to throw up. It was too dark, according to Ty, for him to make out what it was or who it was. All he knew was that it was large, that it stunk, and it made some heavy, low breathing sounds as it approached him. Once it got within 10 or 15 feet from him, he said that he knelt down the same way that he was, and all that he could see were the white in his eyes. But now he said he was too scared to move or do anything, and after being there for what seemed to be an eternity, he knew he had to get up and get out of there. So he said he eased his way up, telling who or what it was that was in front of him, that it was getting late, and that he had to get home to be at school the next morning. And still only hearing the heavy breathing from what was in front of him. In a last-minute dash, he said he stood up, ran through the woods, crossed the ditch, and he ran past everyone that were in the park. We all continued to hide in those woods, playing Captain Flag, and never seeing or hearing anything ever again. And to this day, Tyrone says he still doesn't know what he ran into that night in the woods, and that all he knows is that it made him believe that there are definitely things out there that roam the woods and the hoods of Muhlenberg County. So if you're ever near Gish Park at night, be aware that the creature in the woods may be lurking and looking at you with those glowing, scary eyes, just waiting for his chance to reveal itself to you. Until next time, I'm Sir Creepsta. Stay terrified.